organization released a report this week with some damning criticism of President Obama's immigration policies. Explain the faults in the policy as you see them.
Well, I hope everybody gets a chance to look at this report from the Federation for American Immigration Reform. It methodically shows week by week, starting January 2009, every step the Obama administration has taken in detail to dismantle all U.S. immigration enforcement. Unless you are
wait a minute, Daniel. Dismantle all U.S. immigration enforcement. You're saying that there is no longer any immigration enforcement in the United States. That's a bold claim.
Listen to me. You will not be apprehended or put in proceedings unless you commit an aggravated criminal felony, independent of your immigration violations. Therefore, if you come here on a non-immigrant tourist visa or what have you, you will never be deported under this administration. They have this report is so important because it shows understanding is the key for people to realize what's going on. This report shows week by week how the administration, in attacking the states trying to enforce the law, in eliminating the 287G cooperation programs, in pushing the amnesty bills, in suspending deportations for the vast majority of illegal immigrants here, in discouraging in one way or another all immigration enforcement, how they have done damage. This country may never be able to recover from the damage to the immigration control system this administration has brought about.
All right, let me let Christian Ramos, policy advisor for the New Democrat Network, answer that. There is no longer any effective immigration enforcement in this country, Daniel.
All right, in the history of the entire country, there has never been a president who has enforced immigration laws as well as the president has. Let's just start with deportations. There have been over 1 million deportations in this administration. President George W. Bush, in 5 years as president, only deported 1.5 million undocumented immigrants. If you want to talk about 287G and secure communities, South Carolina, Arizona, and Utah all still are able to utilize this program. This is an example of unprecedented cooperation between states and local law enforcement officials to allow these communities to deport criminal aliens currently in their jail system. Secondly, this administration has made the border region of our country safer than it has ever been. There are 20,000 Border Patrol agents currently on the border between Mexico and the United States. The United States military is on the border between the United States and Mexico. And FBI crime statistics continually indicate that there has been a drop in violent crime in this region. On top of all of that, cities like Nogales, Arizona, have seen an 11% drop in crime in those regions. And this is one other important point that I have to make here. It is, according to Arizona versus the federal government, the Supreme Court case, it is very clearly not a crime to be in the country without documentation. It is not a deportable crime to be in this country without documentation.
Let me bring Daniel back in here, and I want to show our viewers some figures. Border Patrol apprehensions along the Mexican border, Daniel, in 2000, 1.6 million. In 2011, last year, 327,000, just over. That's a decrease of 80%. Now, I guess you both would make an argument based on those numbers. I mean, Christian could argue that that shows that there are less illegal immigrants trying to get into the country, therefore our policies are effective. You would say it shows that we're just simply not doing the job.
Well,
Daniel first.
I have to say, I mean, it's awfully cynical when you hear people flacking for this administration, which I'm not doing, obviously, and I'm not flacking for Romney either, but come out here and try to project that Obama is the toughest immigration enforcer, you know, since Genghis Khan. And that was not the speech he gave to Nalio or to Hispanic groups when he goes out in lobbies. But, well, the point is, I'm making a very clear statement. If you come in here on a non-immigrant tourist visa, a B2 tourist visa, and you overstay that visa, unless you commit a serious aggravated felony, you will never be deported. That is a fact. Now, I can sit here and throw a bunch of bogus data. This administration is trying to project that they're really tough on immigration enforcement, when basically the number of deportations is declining, when the interior apprehension is plummeting, when they've eliminated worksite enforcement, when they've sabotaged 287G, they've sabotaged Real ID, we're not securing our driver's licenses. Basically, it's an open sieve on the interior. And they're doing it because they're trying to pass a big fat amnesty bill in Congress. But what I want people to look at this report. I can sit here and tell you all this stuff on TV. Go online, read the report. It's on FoxNews.com. You will see what I'm talking about.
All right, Christian?
listen, in terms of a national workplace enforcement, enforcement legislation, that is something that has been in the House for a while. The Republican-controlled House. It cannot, E-Verify cannot get a vote out of the Judiciary Committee. E-Verify cannot get a vote on the House floor because the House leadership has said repeatedly that they will not bring it up for a vote. The President has been a strong proponent of workplace enforcement. If you want to talk about figures, under the Bush administration, fines were up only 600,000. Under the President Obama's administration, fines for workplace violations of hiring undocumented immigrants are approaching 7 million in 2010. It's probably much more than that now.
Nobody's being apprehended out of worksite. There's no worksite apprehensions in this administration.
I've got to wrap it up there. As Daniel said, President for the Federation for American Immigration Reform, his report is online. It's at foxnews.com, and I'm sure the new Democrat network, Christian Ramos, policy advisor there, has plenty of information as well about what is obviously, as I promised before the break, a sparky debate. Gentlemen, good to see you. Good debate. Thank you very much indeed.